bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. I said it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. I'm person A, that's not really my name. For data protection, my name's been changed. I like to leave my revision real late. A few days before the exam, it's a date. When I revise, I got my phone next to me. Social media's on and my friends are texting me. That helps me, I don't get bored. I got no revision plan, I freestyle it all. My best revision tool is the highlighter. My paper's real colourful, don't that look nicer? I stare at the paper, I think it's sinking in. And I can revise and play PlayStation. I watch YouTube revision videos. It's running in the background, no need for taking notes. When it comes to the exam, I'm gonna smash it. Come on man, my revision technique is classic. Yo, it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. I said it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. Hello, I'm person B. I like to start my revision early. I have a timetable my teacher helped me make. I do 30 minutes work, take a 10-minute break. I got a special area, corner of my yard. It's nice and quiet there, that helps me work hard. When I'm revising, the stopwatch is going. My phone's on silent so nothing stops me flowing. Revision done, then it's pure relaxation. I rock FIFA on my PlayStation. I don't use a highlighter every time. I use a blank piece of paper, bring stuff from my mind. I use videos, pause and take notes. Draw pictures to represent the words I spoke. I got a set of flashcards so I test myself. Water so I can refresh myself. I don't do too much, sometimes less is more. Cognitive overload's a concept for you all. Your brain can only take so much at one time. So cramming, that's not a technique of mine. All said and done, I try to keep perspective. It's an exam, it's not life or death, kid. I prepare smart, then I step in cool. When the holidays come, you'll see me chilling in the pool. Yo, it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. I said it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. Yo, it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins. I said it's bad reviser versus good reviser. In this battle, no need for a decider. Each got their revision bars to spin. Then you decide which person wins.
Hi, this is Spitting Ink. I hope you enjoyed that video. It was fun trying to put that together. Let's do the explanation there. So the winner of that, of course, you should have recognized that person B, was the winner. Let's just talk about some of the things that they talk about in the video. Person A, he starts his revision, or she starts their revision really late, a few days before the exam. That's too late to be starting to revise. Okay, you need to be getting in a bit earlier with your revision. Okay, they don't have a timetable, they just freestyle it. They just think, I'll just go off the top. That's not good. You need a bit of a plan, so you know when you can have a break, and you also know when you need to put the work in, and to balance all of those subjects. Okay, so that's another kind of mistake. They have their phone on, they have their social media on, their friends are texting them. Okay, it might stop them from getting bored, but it's probably not going to help with their revision, with their concentration. They're playing FIFA at the same time, or they're playing on their PlayStation at the same time as trying to revise. It's things that we all do. When I was younger, sometimes I would do the same. Maybe not FIFA, we're going back a few years, but so yeah, there are mistakes. There are things that we do, but it's trying to just hone the technique a little bit, trying to break some of those habits, the ones that you can. Revision, everyone's different, so you find what works for you ultimately, but this is just a bit of a rough guide to some of the mistakes or some of the things that we can try to improve. Okay, so just thinking back through that rap, what else was in that rap? think the highlighter, yeah, they like to highlight everything. But sometimes when you're highlighting, you think you're revising, you know, because you're highlighting things, you think, yeah, I'm learning. But actually, sometimes all you're doing is you're kind of creating this illusion, you're kind of tricking yourself because you think you've learned something because you highlighted it. Actually, you take away all that paper, what do you actually remember? Okay, so that's another kind of mistake. Watching YouTube videos but not actually being active, you know, just having it on in the background but not really thinking about what's being said, not maybe pausing, not taking those notes. So let's look at person B, the things they do well. They start their revision early, okay, they get in early, they've got a timetable, the teachers help them put together, which means that they can balance all those subjects. They do some work, they do 30 minutes work, you know, and then they take a break for 10 minutes, get away from the work, and then maybe come back and do a little bit more. Okay, that's a good, effective way of working or revising. You know, when I'm planning, you know, my lessons or when I'm doing my work, I'd actually do 25 minutes work. I use a technique, it's called the Pomodoro Technique. It's where you do 25 minutes work and then you have a 5-minute break. When they're actually doing that work or that revision, their phone's on silent or the phone's not even around. Okay, so this stops that distraction. It means you can actually concentrate. Because it's 25 minutes, it's short as a period of time. It means you can really focus. And then, you know, when your revision's done, when you've done your, you know, 2 or 3 kind of 25-minute sessions, you can just relax. You don't have to worry. You don't have to have any guilt. You don't have to have that thought that you should be revising. You get it done, move on. Okay, I think that's really important. Knowing that I can do a little bit of revision, you know, short bursts, and then knowing you can properly relax. And then it talks about they don't use a highlighter every time. They take a blank piece of paper, bring stuff from their mind. This is kind of called active recall. It's where you just take a piece of paper, maybe at the end of your school day, you just try to write down anything that you actually remember. And it's difficult, but that process, it starts to help build the pathways in your memory. It's kind of like you're building a path. Every time you try to remember something, the path gets a little bit more defined. Now that's why you need some time to revise. That's why it's not just a few days before the exam. You actually need a bit of time to actually build that pathway. I think, you know, they're the key things. They've got a special area to work. They've got a silent place that they can do their work in. And then just the idea, it's not a life or death situation, your exam. It's an exam. Okay, you do what you can. You prepare, you know, in a smart way. You put the work in, as well as, you know, having that time to relax, and then it's done. You've done the exam, you've done what you can. It's not a life or death situation, okay? Yeah, just to add this one in, because I've missed this one off the first edit. The use of flashcards, okay? Flashcards are a really effective way to revise. With English, you could have half a quote on one side, half a quote on the other side. Give yourself that regular practice. Look up something called spaced repetition. It's a really good technique. It's where in fact, I might do a separate video on this, but it's where you have your flashcards, and if they're easy, you maybe say, okay, 3 days or 5 days later, I'll look at those flashcards again. The flashcards that you don't get they're the ones that you revisit maybe the next day or maybe a couple of hours later. And if you use like online tools, there's an app called Anki, A-N-K-I, is a really good spaced repetition app. I think you have to pay for it on iPhone. I certainly paid for mine, but it's definitely worth it. But I think it's possibly free on Android, but it's called Anki, A-N-K-I. But that's a really good app. It does all the work for you. So if you get a flashcard, if you're doing your flashcards, you get one wrong, it will say, okay, 10 minutes later, you're coming back to that one. You get it right, you think it's easy, it will say, okay, 3 days. You come back to that in 3 days, it's easy. Maybe then it'll put it back maybe 10 days. And it just gives you a really good system, and especially for when you're trying to learn information in that way, you're trying to memorize things. It's great for languages and obviously things like learning equations and things like that. Okay, so flashcards, and also the use of pictures, you know, drawing pictures to represent things. Pictures can be a really useful way to build to put the learning into your memory. It's called dual coding. So it's when, you know, you've got listening, but also you've got your picture. Maybe you've got your writing. There are different ways, but putting 2-3 things together can be really useful. Finally, cognitive overload. Okay, it comes up in the video. Your brain can only take so much at one time, so cramming, that's not a technique of mine. Your brain can only take in a certain amount of information, and trying to just do hours and hours of revision is not going to be the most effective way to do things. Okay, so cognitive overload. Do not overload your brain. Give it time for things to sink in. Okay, so just wanted to add those ones in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, good luck with your revision.